Welcome to the podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Mark.
So what's new?
Well, we're, halfway through the first week of bird season, Paul, and we're sitting here doing a podcast.
Well, we're post-moose season.
Yeah, that was a quick moose season for us. So,
and the video's up right now as we speak.
Yeah.
So, that was a fast moose hunt.
Yeah, a lot of preparation, which is fun in itself, Paul, getting prepared for it and stuff. And then, the hunt, I think we never really got to the place we wanted to hunt.
We never really hunted.
No, it was 15 minutes after legal time, so
you plan and you plan and you plan, and then...
Yeah, but like I say, the planning is a lot of the fun
over.
too, Paul, the preparation. And so
the video we just posted pretty much explains that hunt, which you haven't seen yet.
I have not.
No.
This has got to be a quick little talk so I can get home and watch it.
Shot a nice bull. So if anyone hasn't seen the video yet, shot a nice bull.
Yeah.
North state record.
Didn't have the biggest rack, Paul, but 843 pounds. That's
respectable.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was very healthy looking. It was, and
oh yeah, nice looking.
That moose. I was talking to the forester Ed again, and the first thing he asked me was how big it was.
Yeah, it was
because he had guessed over eight.
Ed Doobie.
Ed Doobie.
Ed Doobie. Yeah, he said. So when we were looking at this moose, you said what, 750 to 800.
Yeah,
and Ed, he's a forester that had stopped by, was talking to us, real nice guy. And he looked at it and he was like, I think about 820. And he was the closest.
Yeah. He's
23 pounds off.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you get up in that area between 800 and 1,000, those are big moose. So, and like I say, I think he was just a healthy moose. He was healthy.
So, and we were talking to Ed about that. Fewer moose, but the moose that are there are healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were looking at the numbers, right?
I did, and we were talking, we were in Zone 3. I think they gave 100 permits out in Zone 3 for the September week, and the harvest dashboard showed a kill of 85. So if that's both of those numbers are correct, I mean, that's 85%. That's really good.
Yeah, it is.
That's, Yeah.
Yeah.
It had started to trend downward there the last few years, Paul, and 85 is definitely is a trend upward.
Yeah.
So
I went through the 6 Mile Gate going in the North Maine woods Wednesday and Friday of last week. As of Wednesday, they told me they had like 30 something that they'd talking through the gate, and then Friday they were into the 40s. But the girl at the gate Friday told me that Gateway had registered over 100 as of Friday. So I saw a lot of moose sign up in the woods when we were up there.
Yeah.
A lot of moose sign.
Yeah.
Moose.
I think, and hopefully they're starting to, like I say, trend upward again, the population. They really took a hit here the last, 10 years or so with the winter tick.
Yeah.
And the population had declined a lot, and we have the habitat.
Yep.
It's just a matter of...
well, we were overpopulated.
We were over,
definitely.
We talked about that with Ed, and we were way overpopulated in the 90s and the 2000s, and it was unsustainable. So
I mean, I remember as a kid going out bird hunting, and I mean, it wasn't, am I going to see a moose today? It was, how many moose are we going to see today?
Yeah.
I mean, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
In the road everywhere.
Yeah.
Just, all over the place. Now, the past few years, I seem to go up bird hunting and very seldom would see a moose. But this past year, every time I've been up there, I've seen moose.
So the day that we shot the moose, Paul, and we talked to Ed right after we shot it, he said he was, just after he left us, he saw a cow and a bull in the road. He said...
Very big? Or?
No, it was just a small bull.
Okay.
He said like 2 on each side, 2 points on each side, 4-pointer.
Okay.
It's headed in towards,
so I went up to the woods Wednesday, went into a spot, and there was a nice bull in the middle of the road and cow and a calf just off in the ditch.
Yep.
Bull was about the same size as the one you shot.
Yeah.
Kind of a mid-size 40-inch.
Yep.
And a lot of moose hunters still up and around hunting in the woods when I was up there. And I was thinking, oh my word.
They're looking for him.
If I could just find somebody.
Yeah, they're looking for him. Aren't they?
See him right there in the road. Matter of fact, he was right at the mouth of a road that goes into a campsite that was right full of a bunch of moose hunters.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're in camp or not. I didn't go down and check. But
you were just in the right place at the right time.
yeah,
So
that's what it takes sometimes.
And that's what it takes.
So we finally get some bird hunting in. This opening day was Saturday. This past Saturday. And we had, Lacey and I and the kids had terrific luck.
Yeah.
You hunted a different area and not...
I did. The first day, and I was up around the lakes, and I assumed there'd be a lot of people out, and there were, and so I didn't go out until 1:30. I went out the afternoon.
Okay.
And I saw 2 birds and got one. That was...
Okay.
And then I went out Monday morning. I was going to spend the day out hunting, and in the morning I saw 4 and got one. Never saw a bird on the ground. Everything was taken off in the woods before I could see it. And I got a call that my moose, the butcher had finished the moose, and he wanted me to pick it up that day. So I cut the day short and picked up the moose.
Yeah.
So
what the heck was that? We saw, Saturday was kind of a slow day. We actually saw a couple groups, a couple flocks of birds. And I was trying to get the kids and Lacey
lined up.
I never even touched a gun Saturday. And I think we saw 5 Saturday. And Lacey only shot 1. Yeah. But she fired a fair number of shots more than 1 shot. Let's put it that way. And she'll love that. And then Monday was a terrific day. Beautiful weather. And
the weather's been great right through, Paul.
And the bird hunting was great that day. We saw 14 birds that day, 12 before noon.
Yeah.
And we should have had 8 birds between Lacey and I by noontime. But she shot her 4th bird at like 11:30. Then we went back for lunch. And then I went out and I'd shot 1 that morning, and then I went out and shot 3 that afternoon.
Yeah.
For a little ride. And
that's good. 14's good. It's not what I remember going up and 30 bird days and stuff, seeing 30 birds, but a lot better than last year anyway.
But I can remember when I was a kid, a bad year. I mean, if you didn't have a limit of birds by noontime.
Yeah. If you went in the big woods and went deep, I
remember going up, me, you, Gramp, and I think Jeff was with us, 4 of us in a vehicle.
Yeah.
And we had 16 birds by 9:30.
Yeah.
Something.
We've had some really,
crazy,
really good year. And we did not that long ago. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, Paul. We had a really good year.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because I can remember there was one day, the bird hunting was really good, but there was a day that we were up there, and we were into the 2nd week, I think, at that point, and it was really windy. And the bird hunting is usually terrible when it's windy
right?
So I let the kids sleep in, and I think we didn't get on the road until like 8:30. And I went down the road maybe an hour and saw 12 birds.
Yeah.
And it was like, heck, it's not a very good day. And there's all kinds of birds.
Yeah. Yeah. Up where I was, I did not see many. Some of them that I jumped, I never even saw. They were 100 feet off, and of course the leaves are so thick right now.
It is. It's hard to
It's just
see.
a wall of leaves along the edge of the road. So I heard it go. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you get down some of those roads, and if you're not out walking, you're either going to see it in the road, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Because although I give props to Lacey, we were driving down one road, and she spotted a bird up on the bank, and she jumps out, but then she couldn't remember where she saw it.
Yeah.
So we're looking, and pretty soon I'm like, right there, Lacey.
Yeah.
And it's hard. We've talked about this before. It's not necessarily good eyesight. It's just trained eyesight.
Knowing what to look for.
And I look and I'm like, oh, it's right there, Lacey.
Yeah.
And it was back too, not moving.
Yeah.
And it was just that dark gray back, and its head was kind of cocked to the side.
Yeah.
Looked just like a piece of a stump sticking out.
And they do. They can, I don't know how many times I've been driving down the road and I thought, well, that looks just like a bird. And I'll go back and check. And it's like you say, a stump.
So, and there's a lot of foliage in there. There's all kinds of little maple whips and stuff, still have their leaves on them. And I've got the gun, her gun, she's holding it. And I'm like, it's right. If you pulled the trigger right now, you're going to shoot. Pretty soon she's like, oh, I see it.
Yeah.
And then, she shot it. But it can be frustrating for a little bit sitting there going,
you can see it as plain as day. And
it's right there.
Yeah. The shooter can't see it. So.
But she said when we were driving into this spot, she saw movement. Something caught her eye and it was walking away from her.
Mm.
And once it stayed still, she couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But she did good. That was a hard bird to see. And, and then the dog did pretty good.
Yeah.
The dog was kind of fun to play with. She's kind of getting an idea of I know when she sees a gun,
they know the drills. So.
Wicked excited.
Yeah.
And the kids love to go too.
Yeah.
Kids love to bird hunt. Bo, he wants to shoot right now, but keep telling him, buddy.
It won't be long for him, Paul.
No.
You don't have the 10-year-old rule to deal with now, so it'll be in a few years he'll be ready to ready to shoot.
We shot the 22, and he loves that.
Yeah.
But the problem is if we go target shooting and Meadow's around, every shot Meadow is like taking off into the woods, dragging Lacey because Lacey had her on a leash.
Yeah.
And she wants to go in the woods to wherever he was shooting. But the girls in Lydia, she impresses me with that little peep sight.
Yeah.
She pulls up for a shot. I put a can on a limb.
Yeah.
She sits back and pulls up right dead center.
Yeah. Now, did she shoot a bird?
She didn't. She wanted she's a little timid of that 20 gauge.
I was wondering if I know
do you have the 410 down here?
I got the 410 in there.
Can I try it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That 20 gauge is like a little light youth model 20 gauge. It kicks pretty.
Yeah, it does.
Good. And she shot it out back last year, and
I
think her mouth was kind of open, and she kind of bit her tongue.
Yeah,
and now she's a little bit weird.
It can be intimidating for a youngster, a shotgun, even a 410 Paul.
Yeah.
So,
but you've shot that little 20 gauge before. That thing,
I hated that gun.
It's got like the release is on the side by your trigger finger.
It would cut my hand every time I shot.
Well, for an adult with a bigger hand,
that release on the side, it was just like a little razor blade that would cut the side of my hand every time I fired that.
Yeah.
So
So she shot it a few times down back last year, but she doesn't really want to.
Yeah. So that's understandable.
I'm like, we can use a 22. And
like I say, I don't like to shoot it. So
she said she'd try the 410.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get it for you. That would be a fourth generation gun then, Paul, for her. Fifth generation.
Oh, is it? Was that? That was probably the first shotgun I ever shot.
Yeah.
Up at the lake.
Yeah. That would be
up at camp.
Yeah. That would be a fifth generation. That would be my grandfather, so it would be her great-great-grandfather.
Do you know what kind it is?
I think it's a Stevens.
No kidding, all right.
So I shot my first bird with that, and that's the only shotgun Dad ever owned, and we used to share it as a family going bird hunting.
No kidding.
We only had one shotgun.
One single shot.
Dad
shotgun.
Never bought a gun. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, he was tight.
He had a Pump 22, an old... I don't know if it's a Remington Fieldmaster, I think it's called.
That's a fun gun to play with.
I think it's a Model 121.
All right.
And then he had the Model 81 30 Remington, semi-automatic.
That was his father's.
All of them were his father's. Dad never bought a gun, so. And the single shot 410 I think it's a Stevens.
Okay.
So.
If you don't mind, I'd try it.
No, absolutely. That would be, like I say, she would be the fifth generation to use that gun.
We'll see if and Annabelle's eager to shoot. Yeah. She has a license. She's kind of struggling right now to kind of her sight picture.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tough with the peep sight. She was having a hard time to find the target in through the peep.
And there again, that's understandable.
She's just a tiny
they have no comprehension of how all that stuff works and stuff. And
she's still trying to figure. I mean, she's left-handed,
And the strength of even holding a gun and stuff, Paul, they don't have the. I mean, she's 7 years old. She's petite for 7. Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's left-handed, but as we talked before, people who are left-handed they do a lot of different things with different hands.
Mm-hmm.
Lacey's like that. She does, random stuff right-handed and random stuff left-handed. And Annabelle's kind of like that. But when she was shooting, she was comfortable with holding it left-handed and using her left eye to shoot with. And
if you want to stop in and pick it up. Or
we'll try that.
Next time I come out or whatever, I'll bring it out. But if you need it, come and get it.
Yep. What else you got?
Well, not much, Paul. But like I say, I'm kind of discouraged with the bird hunting.
It's early yet.
It is, and it's been warm, and it is early. I mean, now we're going out before October, which we never. It was always October 1st when bird season started, and now we're going. And the weather's warmer, Paul, and there's a lot of leaves on the trees and stuff. So we haven't had a frost yet. That's an odd thing. You get into October and there is no really cold nights that we might get a frost in the near forecast. So
the day we had really good bird hunting, it was one of those. It was a clear morning.
Yeah,
and it was cool. That was the coolest night.
Yeah, but boy, it was nice during the day. It warmed.
Oh, it got so warm, and we didn't see any birds.
No, it was.
We went back and actually hung out at the camp for
2
hours, 2.5 hours, kind of puttered around.
Yeah.
You don't really feel like it was like 65, 68.
Yeah,
sunny, no wind.
Right,
and so the kids were playing with some little rocket launcher thing that you jump on, and we did. And bird hunting for us is not. It's not a very serious thing.
It's leisurely.
It's a pretty laid back because the kids love it.
It's fun.
And that brings up a point of time spent with family. I had a lot of people comment about stuff like that.
Mm.
And bird hunting is a good chance to do that. Because the weather's generally tolerable. Deer season, that can get harsh.
Yeah.
Deer hunting is a little more serious, and
you're not riding around in a vehicle, and if you're with somebody, there's no talking.
No,
it's tough.
The bird hunting, we go walk down a road, and sometimes the kids are being loud, and it's like I don't care.
Right?
They're having a good time, and they're getting a taste of everything.
Yeah. I just had that conversation with a young man that lives across the street. He's got 2 boys that are probably in the 5 to 7 year old range, Zach. And he came over, he wanted to borrow the truck, and he just needed to take it across the street and do something, putting up Christmas lights. And so I was talking about hunting with him, and he wasn't raised hunting, and I told him, I said, you really need to take the boys in a few years and get them, especially bird hunting.
Yeah.
They would really enjoy it because on his wife's side, all the family hunts. But on his side, nobody hunted. And he said, I was never exposed to it or anything. And I said, well, you want to expose your boys to it, You don't have to do it serious, but you can have a good time.
No, and bird hunting is a great way to introduce
to the outdoors and to hunting.
To hunting.
Yeah.
Like I said, it tends to be mild. Weather's mild.
Yeah.
There's no real pressure. I mean, you can make it. When I was younger, it used to be more of it was important for me to shoot a limit of birds.
Right.
Like I said, Saturday, I never even took my gun out of the gun case. And just trying to get everyone else birds. And you got to be patient.
Yeah.
You're sitting there looking at a bird, sitting there looking at you.
Yeah. Well, you could have shot it 10 times and you're still waiting for the gun to go off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, it is.
They have a really, really good time.
Yeah.
And there's good and bad. There's some times where it's kind of a circus.
Yeah, well, 5 people and a dog is.
We went into the woods. It's funny. We went up over the bank there one time, and bird ran up the bank. Lacey was trying to get it, and I don't know. One of the kids was mad at the other one. Pretty soon, this one's hollering at that one to stop, and that one's screaming, saying, "Don't tell me what to do." And Lacey just looked at me. We're in the woods, her and I, and the dog's on the back starting to flip out because the kids are flipping out. And she just looks at me. She's like, "It sounds like a literal circus down on that road right now." And she's like, "I don't want to go back out to the truck."
Let's just keep walking now, Paul.
Oh my God. If someone, we're in the middle of the wilderness, but if someone came along and they would think there was screaming bloody murder down, but I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And you get back, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
She told me I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you just shake your head and you're like, oh my God. And it changes like that.
Yeah.
1 minute they're playing all nice and good, and you don't know when it's gonna flip.
When things are gonna go south.
It's like all of a sudden, it's like, what happened? You guys were just laughing and then it goes right back the other way. Pretty soon
they're all best buds again.
They're best buds again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. At least
that's typical. I mean,
yeah.
4, 7, and 10.
Oh,
I mean, that's typical.
Yeah. She'll look at me and she's like, now you know what I deal with all day long when I'm trying to homeschool them.
Yeah. Well, it's not easy, that's for sure. But and it like I say, it's certainly typical.
But the other thing, we've talked about this before, but as you get talking about family and spending time with family, I was also thinking about because I pull from a lot of people's comments on stuff. They, you'll find common comments come up over kind of a theme of comments.
Right.
And one is time spent with family. And then another one is kind of your perception changes towards hunting as you get older. The hunter's paradox.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Non-hunters, and I can see where a non-hunter would really struggle to grasp why someone would want to hunt that, values an animal so much, almost loves an animal. I can see where that doesn't make sense to a non-hunter.
Yeah.
But for people that hunt, they may not be able to articulate it, but it makes perfect sense to them.
Well, I think it's, it's ingrained in us. At one time, we were all hunters. I mean, we at one time, our ancestors lived by killing things.
It was necessary.
It was necessary.
For survival.
And I think that there's still that in us to harvest an animal and the satisfaction of doing it yourself. And,
even if you look at just wildlife populations, because I had someone bring up the ebbs and flows of grouse populations. And we've discussed with the kids, you've got certain animals like grouse, rabbits, stuff like that. I mean, they're food for a lot of animals.
Everything is trying to eat them.
If you put yourself in that position, like imagine being at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
Or near the bottom.
I mean, everything is trying to get them.
You've got birds of prey that are trying to get them. You got all kinds of canines, wildcats, all that stuff.
Yeah, everything. I mean, fox and fisher and marten and
so you'll see
coyote, everything, and like you say, hawks.
Yeah, and you'll see populations ebb and flow cyclically according to what there are for food sources.
Right,
and you'll see let's say rabbits, for instance, and predators. You'll see, a lot of rabbits when there's few predators and vice versa. And some people have brought that up about grouse populations.
Well, they reproduce at an astounding rate for that reason, because they're gonna lose a lot.
And that's what we were talking to the kids about that. Like, they're one of their main reasons for being there is they're food for a lot of the forest.
Absolutely.
And they reproduce accordingly.
Yeah.
And they can reproduce like rabbits. Obviously, we joke around, how rabbits reproduce so quickly. But there's a function behind that.
So I've got a rabbit story for you.
Sure.
I was on a walking road Monday morning on my bird hunt, and I'm walking down the road, and it was a narrow road because it was fairly grown in. I mean, if you'd taken a truck down, you'd be rubbing on both sides, so it was narrow. And I'm walking down the right wheel track, and all of a sudden, this animal comes busting out. Well, it's from me to the bar, right at me.
No way.
And made a lot of noise through the bushes. It scared me. I thought a partridge was taken off right beside me, 4 or 5 feet away. And a rabbit came out right beside me and started running down the road behind me.
Something
And
hot.
I leveled the gun at it and aimed at it and thought, man, I could take him real easy. And he was fair game. He was legal game. And so I'm aiming at the rabbit. By then he's only 20 feet away, just hopping down the road. And I look about 50 feet down the road, and there's a fisher in the road.
Oh, no way.
He had driven that rabbit out.
He was
And the fisher's looking at me and the rabbit turns and goes into the same side of the woods that he come out of. And that fisher turns around and goes right back in.
Oh, my God.
So I sat there and I thought, well, I'll sit here and see if he chases the rabbit back out on the road again. And I could hear him running around down there, but I never did. They never come out on the road again.
Wonder if he got him.
But boy, he scared me. He came right out right beside me, Paul. It was right, it wasn't in front of me or behind me. It was right. And when it's so quiet and stuff, and all of a sudden an animal busts right out just 4 or 5 feet away, it kind of, like I say, my first thought was it was a bird taking off in the bushes and a little rabbit. I don't know if the fisher got him or not, but we're talking about that.
Yeah. Those fisher, man, they're hunters.
That fisher was looking at me, and the rabbit was between me and the fisher. The rabbit was actually running towards the fisher.
Oh, geez.
So... yeah, the rabbit went in the woods, and the
fisher's
he went right in the same.
Fisher's looking at you thinking, okay, there's danger.
Yeah.
How bad do I want this rabbit?
Yeah.
A few years back, talking about seeing, we do a lot of walking, bird hunting.
Yeah.
I remember we split up on a road, and I went down one way, you went the other way. And, God, I almost got run over by a moose.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, that was on what we call the shortcut road.
That was the closest I have ever. And you hear something and you're trying to make sense of what you're hearing.
Right.
And because it wasn't like I'm walking, it was a really tight road. And there was all kinds of fir trees and stuff on this section of road. And there were some growing up in the middle now that were about up to my waist. And there was just the tire tracks. And I had just come through there, and there was like a little... you get one of those little gravel openings where there's all kinds of moss and stuff. And it just opened up there, but then it tightened up again at the corner in front of me. And I come through that little opening, and then I just hear, it sounds like galloping. But like not just one animal. And I'm going like, you're just trying to figure out what the heck is that sound? It's getting louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, here's a cow moose. I'm like 20 yards from her when I first see her.
Yeah.
She's looking behind her because there's a bull right up her butt.
Oh.
She is not looking where she's going.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there and I'm like...
she's going to run right over me.
And I tucked off behind a little fir tree and I fired my gun in the air.
Yeah, I remember I heard you shoot your gun.
And when I fired, her head swung around and the mud was flying behind her. And she must have been, I don't know, like from me to the camera away when she finally...
yeah.
Like I can remember her eyeball looking at me.
Yeah.
And she veered off into the woods. And boys, that bull was not happy.
Yeah.
He stopped in the road and he followed us all the way out.
Yeah.
But that was,
I
can remember
that.
thinking, what the heck is coming towards me?
Yeah.
And then, she came around that corner and I'm like, she is not even looking in my direction.
No.
She's
she was
preoccupied
more worried
with
what
him.
was behind her than what was in front of her.
And literally the mud was, because she was right on a full tear trying to get away from him.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow, that would have left a mark.
Yeah.
That would have. But you never know what's going to happen.
No, there's always interesting things that, and then I almost stepped on a little snake there, and that
must have just about upended your day.
No, I saw it soon enough. 2 more steps, and it was right in the wheel track I was walking in, and I knew I was going to see one. It was just one of those days, cool night, warm, and they come out in the road there to catch the last warmth of the sun. So,
Dad is not a fan of snakes.
Nope. I'm more afraid of the snakes and the cow moose that's going to run you over.
Jeez.
So,
yeah, never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, we had a successful moose hunt. That's behind us. Good start to the 2024 hunting season.
Yeah, I was I was thinking, Paul, that it changes the dynamics of deer hunting now because
you get all kinds of meat.
I do. I literally don't have room in my freezer for a deer.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Well, that's the thing, So normally I wouldn't be too fussy on, I want the meat, so I'd take a smaller buck, but now I don't need the meat, and I don't even have room for it. So
you're going to have spike horns running around you all deer season.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I got the willpower.
No. Heck, you didn't with the moose.
No, I didn't with the moose.
You get out and I hear...
I'm taking it.
That's a decent bull.
Yeah.
And before, I'm like, oh gosh, he's getting into...
Ed told me again, he said, Mark, that was a Monday bull all day long.
I'm like, I gotta get down there.
Yeah.
He said to start shooting.
Yeah, Ed told me that. He said that was a Monday bull for sure. So
was that a Monday 15-minute bull though?
Yeah, he said it was. Yeah. So I'm going with Ed. Ed knows the woods, and
hindsight being 2020, it's easy to be 15 minutes into a hunt and be like, I'm not gonna take it. But I don't. That would have been a hard bull to top.
Yeah,
I think.
The weight wise, 843 would be
843.
Yeah,
it's not as easy as it used to be.
No,
to moose hunt.
No,
and yeah, I think if you were coming into Saturday, with a tag still,
you got to remember, I come off the last two hunting seasons. I hunted a lot of days for deer, and I never so. We talked about that too, Paul, how it all evens out in the end. You work your butt off for 2 seasons and you put in the time and the effort and you're not successful, and then you go out.
Drive around the corner.
You don't even get out of the vehicle, and there's 15 minutes into the hunt and you're done. So things work out.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I've heard other podcasts, Hal's talked about that. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard.
Yep.
Sometimes it just, and that's life in general. Sometimes you get more than you deserve and sometimes you get less.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you do everything right.
Yeah.
Everything.
And you don't get rewarded.
In your possible nature.
Yeah.
Right. And it just doesn't work out.
No.
Then sometimes you do everything wrong.
And it just works out.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It just fell in my lap.
Yeah.
So you never know.
So I'll take it. And like I say, it does, deer season will be a little different, I think. I won't be under any pressure or whatever.
Fill the freezer. And
yeah. So.
You can shoot a great big buck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which should be a good deer hunting season.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to find...
Yeah, I think the kill...
at least an opportunity.
I think the kill... Of course, the kill's usually up downstate, but I think it'll be up a little bit up here.
Yeah.
Because I think there are a few more deer running around this year. There should be. We had such an easy winter.
And I've heard a lot of people saying that, too.
Yeah.
That they're seeing a lot. Just game in general. I know every trip I've been out in the woods, I've seen a lot of game. From bear, moose... it seems like the past couple of years, I can make a lot of trips, and it feels like I'm the only living being
pretty
in the
deserted
woods.
out there sometimes.
Yeah. I've just in general seen a lot of game recently, and a lot of deer sign.
Yeah.
And so I think that bodes well for this fall, but we'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens.
So
we're already. So we got some good bird hunting footage here that I'll have up probably next week.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do another podcast. Same time, same place.
Did you get the kids fighting there when you were going over?
Oh my God. One of them had a GoPro. And I told them, I said, once they all get settled down, and I said, I'm going to play this for you guys so you can see exactly what mom and dad see.
Yeah. See how foolish you look sometimes.
Yeah. So I'd given Lydia one of the GoPros, And I was like, here, you can use this. And if mama comes out with a bird, you can get some video footage of her.
Yeah.
So she was loving that.
Yeah.
I kind of I didn't watch it because I already experienced it in real time. I didn't need to watch it.
You didn't
again.
have to replay it.
I turned the
the
camera
last
on.
thing you wanted to replay.
Yeah. I turned that GoPro on and there was like, it was going all over the place. And I'm like, oh my word, this is a little anxiety provoking. So
Yeah.
might be a learning opportunity for the kids.
Yeah. You save that one.
They
Show
can
them
sit
that.
down and watch this. I'll show them at their wedding.
20 or 30 years. So yeah, play that one at their weddings. Yeah.
This was Lydia hunting.
Yeah. I hope I'm around to see it.
Oh, jeez. Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Dad?
No, that's
You want to get home and watch that video, don't you?
Yeah, I'm excited for your video, Paul. That's
Well, it's your hunt.
yeah, well,
I just was tagging along trying to
turn the camera on as fast as I could shoot.
We were three shots. So I'm like, well, there's a video.
I didn't leave you much.
It wasn't even enough for.
I didn't give you much time to even
Nope.
get set up. So
No.
there it is. I'm shooting.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said it in our last video too. I'm like, I almost didn't get out of the truck because I'm like, it didn't. I could see the palms, but I just saw him for a quick second when he was crossing the road going over into that cut.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that isn't that.
When
big
you
of a
first said
ball.
that there's a moose, I saw the black object down the road. I didn't even see any
Yeah.
antlers.
Well, when he walked into the cut, they were light colored up above
Yeah.
all
That's
the
what I
vegetation
saw
in
when
the
I
cut.
was.
And I see him out in the cut, but I was like, wow, that doesn't look anything like that impressive.
Yeah.
And obviously you walked down around the corner.
I walked down
And saw him.
Yeah, and I knew it wasn't a great
Yeah,
big.
you didn't think very long.
Yeah. No,
You're like, I have a loaded gun.
he who
I have a
hesitates is
tag."
lost, Paul.
That's
So-
what- yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a loaded 7600.
Yeah. There's never been anything wrong with my reflexes.
I've got a tag.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you ran the pump good too.
Yeah. For not being used to that type of.
See, that
yeah.
always plays in my head. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I'm hesitant to carry it is because I'm so used to the
Semi-automatic.
7400.
Yeah.
And I can just see myself
Pulling the trigger again.
pulling the
nothing
trigger
happening.
and it not going off.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what the frig's going on with this?
Yeah.
But I've heard several other people who hunt with 7400s who have taken the 7600 out and they're like, yeah, I ran it fine.
Yeah.
And they kind of
Well,
thought
I
the same
did.
way.
I guess I didn't even think about it. I just did it.
That's what they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I guess
Especially in the heat of the moment.
guess I don't trust myself
You never
enough,
know
yeah.
what's going to happen in the heat of the moment. So,
no.
but
No.
yeah,
you
it
just
all
might
worked
start
out.
shooting a bull and not tell anyone.
Yeah.
At least you told me it was a nice bull.
Yeah. Yeah. But the bullets weren't flying long after I said I was going to shoot.
No. I'm trying not to run down the road like a frantic lunatic.
Yeah. That's pretty hard. If
Trying
you're
to be steady, but I'm
if
like,
you're following me, you're probably.
I don't see a moose out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised you even got anything, Paul.
Well, the moose cooperated a little bit.
Yeah.
He turned around and came out
Came out in the road.
on the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun stuff. Alrighty. I think we went longer than what
Yeah.
I'd planned, but so I guess we'll do some bird hunting this week and do this again next week.
Yeah.
So
Check some trail camps. I guess some
I gotta
trail
get some out.
Yeah,
get
I've
some
got to reposition some. I have some that are picking up a lot of deer, so I'll leave those. We
right.
may deer hunt in that spot, but others are probably I'll have to reposition them
Yeah.
for deer.
Good. Yeah, that'd be another thing we can do.
Yeah.
So alrighty. I guess that sums it up. So until next time, get outside.
It's good for the soul.
See ya.